Okay then. Hi everyone. This is
Hi.
this is Trace Face and this is Natalie, who is I'm so happy to have her on the show. She is like my best friend, one of my very best friends from way back when we were what, Natalie, like
Oh
20.
my God. We were babies.
And I'm
We're
so
little rock
happy
and
to have
roll
you.
babies.
Yes. And I'm just so happy and elated to have you on the channel because when I think of the most positive person I can think of on the planet. It's literally you.
Thank
And
you.
there's like this one other person I worked with. He was always happy. And I'm just like, shoot, like, how do I get to that happy place?
Oh,
You just know, I mean, and like, you always brought out the most bubbly side of me. So, everyone, this is
I
my
love
friend
that.
that I was with in Florida who is a full time working musician, which is like unheard of. Most people that were, we started off, we were in a band when we were, you were in your band, I was in my band when we were like 22,
Yeah.
how long it was. And, but you made it, like, you actually did it and you made
Oh,
a living.
thanks.
And that is just like so unheard of and so amazing and awesome. So, I really wanted to have you on the channel because one of the things I'm noticing, and other people ask for it too, is like, okay, where's like the happy ending stories?
Sure.
How do people get out of this and like find happiness? And you being one of the most happy people I know,
Mhm.
I'm sure you could give everybody on this channel some tips and tricks. Maybe tell us, parts of your life that you want to share with us today.
Sure.
And yeah, I'm gonna stop talking because I did enough coffee. We're gonna let you we're gonna let you have at it.
You don't know what you've done. I'm just going to ramble on forever. First of all, thank you so much for inviting me to be on this channel. I am so proud of everything you've done and everything that you continue to do, and to watch you grow and flourish and help other people is such an honor as one of your best friends. I'm just so proud of you. It makes me so happy to see you doing what you do. Oh, look, here's a kitty.
You're gonna see them.
I'm sure my dog will make an appearance at some point in time. Anyways, um, thank you for thinking of me as one of the happiest people, because it's been a long road. It's everything is awesome. It took a lot of bumps and bruises to get to this point in my life, but you know, happiness is such a rare thing that people can have in their lives these days. There's so many reasons not to be happy that I think people really grasp on to those reasons to not be happy, and it's like if you just kind of switch the way that your mind processes situations and the way that you deal with hard times in your life, you can really find happiness. It is attainable. It is attainable. And I've met so many people in all my years, especially working in the music business. You know as well as I do, the music business is riddled with some pretty horrible people. You want to
Yes,
talk about
yes,
narcissism? Become a
yes.
musician and you will be surrounded by them on a regular basis. But
Right? People that don't know this, right? So, and I want to make mention that Natalie is one of the best drummers you're ever gonna
oh,
meet.
stop.
So we need to
She's
plug.
biased. She's one of my best friends.
No, no, you really are. And so we need to plug your band and everything. We
Oh,
need to do
thanks,
that too
girl.
while we're on here. But
I'll
yes,
look up all
yes.
that.
So yeah, the music industry, people that don't know, like, it's bad, right?
Yeah,
On
it
a
is.
local level to a national level.
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. I mean, currently I play in a cover band, so of course we're more of a local act, but I mean, even on a small scale, a small scale band that we are compared to like a national and a world touring band, like people still have these incredibly inflated egos, and they just want to talk trash about each other, and to stay positive when you're constantly in that kind of an environment is very difficult. So you have to really got to really rally that positivity, if you want to stay above all of that, um
And you and I both dealt with, especially when you have like, years ago, you and I both dealt with band members that we had to deal with on this level. That was,
Ugh,
and it's
my
tough.
whole life,
Yeah,
my whole career, and you too, it's almost surprising when you don't have a narcissist or somebody with an inflated ego in your band, because it's just the way musicians are for the most part. Not all of them, not all of them. I'm actually very happy to say that the guys that I play with now are
yeah,
just the most grounded,
yeah,
fantastic, hardworking individuals, and I will love them forever for that.
yeah.
But you and I, we're naturally happy people. and we're grateful for the things that we have in our life. We're grateful that we get to play music. We're grateful that we get to perform for others. And because we are the way we are just naturally energy vampire magnets. Those kind of people are going to flock to us. And that's something that I know you and I share because we've experienced that a great deal. Um, and again, it's a struggle to stay above that, to stay positive, to be the better person, to not sink to their level. It's a struggle.
Yeah.
But I'm 42 now. It's like I feel like I've kind of got it figured out, even though I feel like I'm learning something new every day.
Well,
But
and you ended up in the happiest state in the the whole country.
real man,
Yeah,
for real.
she's in Florida, and this is where I want. Everyone on the channel knows this is where I want to end up. So we know that.
We're waiting for you, babe.
I know. But like that's where you belong. Like you belong with the sunshine and the happy people.
Something about this state called to me for such a long time. And I used to come down here to visit my mom because she's lived down here for a number of years, as my grandparents did. And there was just something about it when I was here, just to be surrounded by people that are on vacation, people that are in a happy state of mind, being surrounded by constant sunshine. Like it does something to you. It makes you happy. You want to contribute to that. And when I was living up in the Northeast, I grew up in New England. I lived in Connecticut and Rhode Island, then lived in New York for a good chunk of time. I loved it up there. I still enjoy going up there to visit, but there was something about the vibe of the people that I was around. And it was just a constant energy suck, a constant battle to stay positive. Like I felt like I had to explain my happiness. I had to like justify why I was a happy person to these people. Like, how dare you be in a good mood? How dare you be happy? Like, explain yourself. Why aren't you miserable like me? It was constant.
That
And
window over here, yes.
oh my
What
God,
do you think it is? What do
you
you
know
think
all about
it
it.
is? It's like I explain, I obviously have some really good friends in New England, but there's like a dark, we talked about this, there's like a
Mm,
dark cloud up here. Do you think it's,
very dark cloud.
yeah,
Very dark cloud. And again, not everyone is like that.
right,
We were lucky enough to find each other and
right.
walk each other through this whole thing. There's some really good people up there too. And I mean, unfortunately, evil resides everywhere. It's here in Florida too. No matter where you go, you're going to run into people that are going to challenge you, and that's just the way life is.
Right.
But I felt like moving down here really fell in line with my way of wanting to live the way I wanted to think. I found a lot of kindred spirits here that were also, naturally happy people, that were also musicians, that were also just wanting to play music for the sake of wanting to make other people happy and make themselves happy. And what a beautiful concept, what a,
And
yeah.
I witnessed this. Like this is like the real deal down there. And this is like the band members you have, and this is like what you're doing. Like
They're super great.
you're not in a band where it's a chore and that you don't want to do it and you don't feel like doing it and somebody's putting you down and this bartender or this club owner is a jerk. No, like I didn't see any of that going on when I was down there. Like I didn't.
It's a very strong community down here, and again, it's one of the reasons why I moved here and stayed here, because the support and the love and the overall happiness, and it's palpable. Like you can just see it. You can see it in the people on stage. You can see it in the people that are running the venue. You can see it in the people that are in the audience, and it's beautiful.
Do you think there is definitely, we should talk a little bit about this because you're familiar with this too. Do you think that the narcissism and the musician, being a musician, narcissism, hot, big egos, and then you tack on drug and alcohol addictions, right?
Oh God.
And we have seen like the demise of so many really talented people just go down that crapshoot
Sure.
and then it's hard for people also, I think, that want to stop doing that to be in that scene continuously still.
Sure.
So I'm sure you saw a lot of that. How did you keep your head above water with all of that?
Um, I think it was just a choice, like when you're a working musician, and especially when I was touring, like any drug, any vice that you possibly may want or have is at the ready, like ready for you, and it's a real wild industry. And if you have an addictive personality, it is a really bad choice of a lifestyle because eventually you're going to burn out.
Yeah.
And I saw it happen to so many friends, so many fellow musicians, that got hooked on cocaine, heroin, any injectable pills, or just alcoholics,
Alcohol.
and it ruined them, it ruined their career, it ruined their looks, it ruined their ability to play their instrument. Like, it's sad. It's really sad. But I think for me, it was a choice because I knew this is what I wanted to do. I knew this was my path. I knew this was what I was meant to do. And damned if I'm going to let a drug addiction ruin that for me.
Yeah.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not perfect. When I was younger, sampled certain things here and there, and I'm grateful that nothing ever stuck. But I think I always knew, even when I was younger in my 20s, like I would see it happening to other people and how gross they became, like
Yes.
what they would do to get a bump of cocaine, or how sloppy drunk they would get and they couldn't play their instrument on stage. And I was like, I'm embarrassed for them. I'm embarrassed for me
Yes.
because they're in my band. And it's like, I
Yes.
don't ever want that to happen to me. I don't want to ever be that person.
I mean, I can't help but say it like this. There's still certain scenes going on within, every state, that it's literally not about the band like evolving, getting to be a better musician, or even about like picking and choosing the best shows for the band. It's all about like, I just going to play these shows. I don't care what I'm making, because it's giving me an opportunity to drink and just
Yes,
and just kind of exist. And you
that's
know what I
very
mean?
common. That's very common.
Yes, and it's so that's always sad for me to see. It's like, you people aren't, you haven't even taken the time to write a song, and you want me to come to your show? Like,
I'm
no,
laughing because I know exactly what you're talking about.
you know
Yeah,
what I
it's almost like being a musician in a band gives you license to never leave Neverland. Like you never have to grow up because people, certain musicians think you're expected to act that way. You're expected to do drugs, you're expected to be an alcoholic, you're expected to party, you're expected to have sex with a bunch of randos. Like it's expected of you, and it's almost like kind of shocking and off-putting when you're not, when you don't fit into that molds that people think musicians are supposed to be in.
Yeah.
And
People
it's kind
found
of
out
like,
real quick who we were.
yeah, exactly. Like, oh,
Yeah.
like
Oh,
almost they make you feel like a prude almost. Like, man, I'm trying to make some things happen in my life. Like, don't judge me because I'm not a drunk mess. And
yeah.
again, there have been nights where I have been a drunk mess. I don't want to like pretend like I'm a perfect human being here. We
Yeah.
all make mistakes.
Yeah. So
But
tell everybody, what do you think has created you to be like, because everybody I know describes you this way, like this bubbly,
oh,
happy,
that's so
loving,
nice to hear.
passionate person. What do you think has contributed to it? Was it your upbringing? Was it like, where do you think, how did you land to be this amazing person? What do you think it's all about?
First of all, thank you. That's so very, very sweet. And it makes me really happy to think that I'm perceived that way by others too. That's
Everybody.
really touching, really, really touching. Um, I can't really pin it on one thing. I mean, I had I had a good upbringing. My parents were divorced, but they were still both awesome parents. My dad was always very supportive of what I did, and I think that has a lot to do with my success because he's continued to support me till this day. And my dad was also big on if it ain't fun, we ain't doing it. Like
I love
and
that.
and it was like, he always kind of taught me like just whatever you do, just be the best that you can be, work hard, and when it stops being fun, walk away.
Yeah. Yeah.
That was pretty much what helped me make a lot of major life decisions because a lot of the things that I've done and experienced is because I had my happiness in mind. I had the fun in mind. And like being a full-time musician is sure it's a lot of work and it's a lot of dedication, but man, it's really fun. It's
Yeah.
really, really fun. And through the years, I had a lot of people tell me like, "Oh, you better have a plan B, you better have a good day job so when this doesn't work out for you or, like everybody making you feel like you've got this pipe dream." And so many people in my life, when you get to your 30s, you're not going to want to do this anymore. When you get to your 40s, you're not going to want to do this anymore. And man, were they wrong.
And,
They're
and you
so
just
wrong.
you just said that for all of you that might be parents watching the channel tonight, this is such an important message. My mom and dad really did do that thing where they were like, you need a plan B, you need to go to college. you need to know. And what they should have said to me, God bless them, but what they should have said to me was, you and your brother need to get your butts in a van and you need to tour because people need to see you, and if they
Right.
had said that to me at that age, like, it would have made a difference. I think it definitely would have made a
Sure.
difference. um,
Absolutely.
so
Absolutely. And
yeah.
I get where they were coming from. I'm sure it was from a place of love. They didn't want to see you guys fail. They didn't want to see you, like decide that music wasn't for you and not having anything to fall back on. I think that's like from a parental standpoint, that's what they were thinking,
Yeah.
and that's
Well,
one thing that musicians go through a lot when it comes to their family and their parents and, people that they look up to. The majority of people are going to be like, well, this is just a dream. This is not a reality. This is not something that you can monetize. And it really is. I'm
yes.
here to tell you, it 100% is. If this is what you want to do with your life, go do it. Go do
Yes.
it and have a great time while you're doing it. And someday you're going to be too old to chase after that dream, and it's like you want to be sitting on the porch in the rocking chair thinking about all the great times you had and all the people you proved wrong along the way.
Yep.
So,
Yep.
yeah, I mean, my parents did that to a certain degree too, like they wanted to see me make the right choices. They knew I wanted to be a musician and that was what I wanted to do with my life, but they didn't think it was sustainable.
Yep.
Like they're like, same thing. Like you have to have a backup plan. You have to have that plan B. You have to have something to fall back on. And listen, there's nothing wrong with, taking the safe route and doing that. There's nothing wrong with that because I know a lot of musicians that work during the day and play at night, and that's totally fine. But
But the
I
whole
think
purpose is, like, the parents have got to support their kids with their dreams.
sure,
They absolutely have got to do it and be behind it, even if they don't know about it or don't agree or what have you. I think
of
obviously
course.
coming home and telling you that they want you want to be a drug dealer, well, then, that's different.
Reach for that rainbow.
Yeah, I mean, here's the other thing we should discuss briefly. Like, so many musicians we know were cutting corners. They were
Sure.
doing these jobs like this, and you and I didn't do that. Like, we did what we had to do when we were trying to be touring musicians.
100%.
And
Yeah.
look where you're at now. Um, so yeah, so you were saying that your parents raised you right. I noticed, I just thought of something too, Natalie. Like, you don't have, see, I can't think of one toxic person in your life right now. You don't keep them around. Like,
Well, I got to tell you, that's one of the number one reasons why I am as happy as I am is that I audit my life. I audit it regularly. And what I mean by that is like I take inventory of the people that I'm around, the people that I'm around with, the people that I consider my friends, the people that I'm spending time with, whether it's for business or pleasure, the basically audit the people, places, and things in my life at that time, especially if something feels off. Like if something doesn't feel right, if I'm feel a little extra more anxiety than I'm used to feeling, if feel a little down in the dumps, I sit back and I just take inventory of everything. And if there's a person that's bringing me down, if there's a situation that's bringing me down, if there's something in my house that's bringing me down, I get rid of it. I
yeah,
don't mess around. And I
yeah,
wasn't always that way. I was not. It took me a long time to figure that out. And it's okay to do that. It's okay to, it sounds harsh, but it's okay to cut people out of your life. It's
yes,
totally okay.
it's actually
Especially if it
necessary.
means your mental health, your overall well-being, your happiness. It's totally okay to audit your life. And granted, those people, if they're making you feel any negativity, any way, shape, or form, they're going to make you feel terrible about it.
Yeah,
But it's okay. You just
yeah,
got to look at the big picture, look at the end result, and just put your happiness first.
yeah.
Got to put your happiness first. It's so important.
I remember some of the people that you dated. We're all still friends with some of these and
Yeah.
people, and
It's so awesome.
they're good people.
Very
I
good
remember
people.
kind of being like, "Wow, I didn't know this happened to you," when you told me that you landed with a narc. So you see, this can happen to anybody. So it happened to you.
Totally. Totally. Like I was saying before, like when you're a naturally positive person and a naturally happy person, you're a magnet for these kind of people.
Yep.
And they're very good at hiding it in the beginning, making you feel loved, making you feel appreciated. This is nothing new to anybody that's ever dealt with a narcissist. And I don't know if he was textbook narcissist. I don't think he was. I think he had narcissistic tendencies.
Yeah.
And I also think he had undiagnosed bipolar disorder.
Yeah.
So I was with him for 6 years on and off. I thought the day started and ended with him. I thought he was the greatest person. He had so much love to give. He made me feel smart and talented and beautiful, and he did all the right things in the beginning. And it wasn't long until, things started to crumble. Like he had anger issues, he had drug issues, he had alcohol issues, cheated on me 3 times that I know about. And I was just so engrossed in the situation that I couldn't walk away, and it was such a test of my character. And to look back and think that I let this go on for 6 years is like devastating to me. But I learned so much from that whole situation. I know that I will never let that happen to me again. But it was really painful. It was really painful, and it was embarrassing, like,
Yep.
To be a strong, independent woman and to allow this person to take your power away like that was really embarrassing. It was
Yes.
mortifying.
Yes.
And you see like friends and family, look at me and be like, what are you doing? Like, what he's doing, this is not a right situation for you. Like, get out. And I'd be like, I would make excuses. I would be like, yes, but he A, B, and C, holding on to those good little tidbits of our relationship that kept me around. Like, he knew exactly what to feed me so that I would stick around and deal with his BS.
Yep.
And again, so embarrassing to think that I fell for those like little parlor tricks, that narcissists do, or,
Yep. Yep.
but it was a very educational moment in my life. And, over the course of 6 years, we broke up, we got back together, we broke up, we got back together. And there was this moment at the end of our relationship where we sat down to watch a movie, and we were in this like crappy little apartment. And
This was
I was
still in New York.
miserable.
You were
This is
still.
in New York, yeah. I was miserable. He was miserable. We clearly both weren't happy in the
I
relationship.
can't picture you miserable.
I look back on, but again, it was such a learning experience. This will never happen to me again. And we were both so unhappy. And I just remember this one night we were sitting in our apartment and we're looking for something to watch on Netflix. And he was the one who saw the movie The Secret on Netflix and was like, well, this looks interesting, we should watch this. And I don't want to throw the term law of attraction out there because it makes a lot of people roll their eyes. Not a lot of people believe in it, and that's totally fine.
Yeah, yeah.
But that was the movie I needed to watch in that very exact moment in time, because after I watched it, I bawled my eyes out.
Yeah. Yeah.
I wasn't going to do this.
I know.
I bawled my eyes out. And then it was like, okay, time to change everything.
Yep.
And I learned how. I'm surprised it still makes me cry. But I learned how to change how I thought about everything, how I thought about him, how I thought about myself. I had to get myself back on track with being a happy person. Like, I literally let this guy suck the joy right out of me.
Yep.
And I got myself back on track. And it was towards the end of our relationship that I had proposed moving to Florida. We had actually gone there together to visit, and he was on board. He wanted to change a pace. And it was a matter of weeks before I had this aha moment that he said, you know what? I changed my mind. I don't want to go there. I have no desire to go there. I don't want to go.
Yeah, because it's a happy place. His vibration couldn't go there.
Totally.
Yep.
So I was devastated by that. And instead of at first being like, well, you know what? Maybe we should just go our separate ways. It was like, oh, all right, well, I guess this is my fate. I guess I'm going to stay here in New York and just try to make everything work. And on paper, at the time, my life looked great. To everyone around us, we had a happy relationship. I was playing in 2 or 3 bands at the time. I had a really good job, but on the inside, I was a mess. My relationship was awful. The job was so stressful and demanding. All my bands, even though they were doing well, I was in such a state of mental distress that I couldn't enjoy what we were doing and trying to accomplish. So it was just so weird how I watched that movie and it was just a light bulb went off inside my head. You know, you have that aha moment where you're like, what the hell am I doing? Like just snap back to reality.
Yep.
And it was weird how everything played out within the next month. Within the next month, my main band that I was playing with kind of fizzled. And at first I was devastated about that. And then I was like, okay, well, this is an opportunity to go do something else. And then found out he was cheating on me again. And it was like, this is someone just opened the gate. I am free to go. I am free. Like this is my moment. This is my time to get the hell out of here, get the hell out of this situation. And I literally just took all of my things, whatever I couldn't take with me, I put out on the curb and I left. And I never looked back. I just bailed. I was like, you know what? I'm done with this crap. I invested 6 years into my life being unhappy. I'm out.
Yeah.
You know, I closed chapters with a lot of people that were that part of my life that were also contributing to my unhappiness. Just negative people, people that just wanted me to sit there and listen to their problems, people that just weren't looking to improve their lives. They just wanted to wallow. You know, there was a lot of that in my life at that point in time. And again, just because, you know, energy vampires are looking for someone to feed off of.
Yep.
So anyways.
So you packed your car and that's when you moved, you just drove straight down to Florida?
Not immediately. I actually moved. I moved back in with my dad and my stepmom in Connecticut, which was fantastic. You know, I'm a grown ass woman, just walked out of this like completely tumultuous situation and moving back in with my parents. And I stayed there for like 3 or 4 months and it was the best time ever. It was like hitting the reset button on my life. And it was during that 3 or 4 months, I totally repaired myself. You know, being around my family was great. Just I kind of was a hermit the time I was living there because I was like, I need to just like recharge my batteries. I need to get my head straight because I was feeling all sorts of crazy from everything that went on. And you know, just kind of shed that skin of the last 6 years where I was super unhappy. So when I was ready in the following March, I packed all my stuff into my little Kia Soul, my drum set, whatever I had for clothing, and a few personal belongings, and I drove straight through to Florida. And I tell you what, girl, I never looked back. I never looked back. And it was that moment where I realized I had to live for myself. I had to do what was right for me. I had to make myself happy and stop making decisions to A, make someone else happy, B, diffuse a situation. Because I felt like that was a big part of my relationship too, was just constantly diffusing awful, awful situations.
Yeah.
And I went to Florida with no plan, a little bit of money. No idea what I was going to do. But it's so crazy because once you're on that path, once you're on that right path and you're doing right by yourself and all the decisions you're making are for you and your happiness, it's like the world unfolds for you.
Yes.
It's like everything just opens up for you. You know, it's not until you realize that you've wasted so much time trying to coddle somebody else and make someone else happy that when you finally wake up and put yourself first, like I said, the world opens.
Yep.
And that's exactly what happened. Like as soon as I got here to Florida, I engrossed myself in the local music scene. I tried to meet every musician I could. I started playing in a bunch of different bands. I started doing open mic nights and I was so happy. I was like bartending on the beach during the day, playing in different bands at night, meeting all these great new people. And I was tan. I was just so ecstatic, just so happy. And all of that bullshit I had dealt with was gone. It was just in the rearview mirror. You know, I didn't waste any more time on it. I did a major audit of my life. Like the people that were meant to be in my life, yourself included, stayed. And all that extra bullshit that I didn't have to deal with, you know, that I wasted time and energy on, they just faded into the background. And none of it matters now, you know? And like I said, I've learned from it. It still makes me emotional when I talk about it because it was a powerful time in my life.
Right. But it's like you had an awakening. You had a true like awakening to this.
It was 100% awakening. You know, they say you have that aha moment, and that was it. Sitting on my couch, watching that movie, being like, I don't have to be here. I don't have to do this. Like, why am I putting myself through this? I'm not married to this person. I can just go. And then, like I said, once I found out that he was cheating on me again, it was like,
yes.
the gates just opened in front of me, like, run,
Yep.
run, get the hell out of here,
Yep.
go. Like, you're not supposed to be here. Like, get out.
Yep.
And that was
And
it.
that,
I never talked to him again, never spoke to him again. And it was just, oh, wow. What a relief. What a
yeah.
relief.
And then
And you know what? And this I think is very important too. And I'm so sorry to cut you off.
no, 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 go. You, no,
My
you're the,
emotions are all over the place right now. I I for whatever reason, I think naturally I'm supposed to hate him, after what he put me through and the things he did to me, but I really have no ill will towards him. Like, I know a lot of his actions were because of whatever mental disorder he has, whatever alcohol and drug addictions he has. Not that I'm making excuses for him and his behavior by any means, but I don't have any hatred towards him. I really don't. I actually wish him well. If
yeah,
if his name ever comes up, I'm like, okay, cool. Glad he's doing well. Because I think that's a big part of being a happy person too, is not carrying that baggage of
yes,
the hatred and disdain that you have for people in your past because they did you wrong. People grow, they don't
yes,
necessarily change, but people do grow. We learn as we go along. And I think it's really important to let that stuff go and forgive people, because that's a big part of your personal growth and your personal happiness. And I'm going to stop rambling so that you can ask me another
yes.
question.
No, and it's so true. Like, I remember I had this conversation with somebody in the NARC community, and they were like, I don't think that, I don't think forgiveness is possible. I don't want to forgive. That's for God.
Of
And I'm just
course.
like, I think it's important to recognize that that's like, you're absolutely right. That's when you get the most release and you feel the most release. Like, people see me on my channel and I get emotional. I get very angry about certain things that these people
Sure.
do. And I have a passion for it. I'm fueled by it. But like, as in terms of the people that did this to me in my lifetime, like, they're a fart in the wind, and it's like, who cares? You know what I mean? Like, it's just like, you get to a certain point,
Nailed it.
you know what I mean? It's just like, like you said, like, wish them well. But it takes you getting to that forgiveness point, and also forgiving yourself, because you go through
That
that whole thing,
too.
like you said, like, why did I waste this time? And people out there need to hear this. Like, you get out, you stay out, you move along with your life, and your life gets better. You're a walking, talking proof of this. You're getting married in August. Natalie, congratulations, is getting married to
Thank
to
you.
a wonderful man that you met
He's
through
pretty
work.
awesome.
You guys met at work, and I'm look at you, like the perfect couple I could ever think of. And you
Thank
guys
you.
complement each other.
Beyond
And
happy.
you know what? We talk about vibrations. Narcissistic people have really low vibrations.
Super low.
They're the lowest of the low. So it's like, people that have higher vibrations, it's like, you get to a point, you can actually feel that in the room when they walk in the room. And then it's like, you naturally have gotten to this place where you've done so much work on yourself, and your vibrations are back to what they were, or you're even in a different place where you're like, I'm not ever accepting these people again in my life. And then they, like you said, they just kind of naturally just move aside.
They
And
do. They do. They fall into the background.
yeah,
And it's when you're first like walking away from these people, or deleting these people from your life, like the fear that they're always going to be there, always trying to feed on you is real,
yep,
but once you get past that point and they fade off into the background,
yes,
it all makes sense. Again, it just means you're on the right path. It means you're doing the right things by yourself,
yes.
for yourself.
And like you said, you're always probably going to attract these people, especially, you're beautiful inside and out. You're going to attract men your whole life. And they're going to attract good ones and bad ones. But it's like, the bad ones, we've already dealt with this. They tell on
Right.
themselves.
They
And
do. They do.
you know what I mean? And then it's almost like I said, you can't be in the same room with them, because you can feel it, and you don't even want
Feel
to
it.
be around these people.
Yep.
And look at some of the characters you and I knew from way back when.
Oh my God.
I'm still hearing stories about these
We
people.
could
Like,
start a whole YouTube channel based on our stories from our music career, the people we've dealt with.
oh, it's like, yeah,
All walks of life.
that could be a book in itself.
For real. For real.
But they don't change. And I know it. I'm still hearing of them cheating on their spouse and doing all
Yep.
kinds of things, and they don't change. They're just the same.
Mm-hmm.
The most important thing I think everyone's going to get out of listening to you tonight, Natalie, is that you recognized for yourself, there's a problem, I have got to fix it, and you had an aha moment and you did something about it, and now look at you. People, I think, are really, really afraid. I think there's a general consensus that um there's a lot of people in this community that are afraid to be alone, and I know that. And
Sure.
they'll tell you that. They'll say, yes, I think I'm staying because I don't want to be alone.
Yes. Oh my God. That's so real. That's so real. And it's so common.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it doesn't necessarily mean that you're codependent. It's just I get it. I get it.
Yeah.
I really feel like that time when you're alone and you're rebuilding yourself is when the real magic happens.
Yeah.
And it's like that's not necessarily gonna happen when you're in a relationship, when you're attached to somebody else, whether it's a romantic partner, a parent, a friend. you know I hear about this so much from people where they stay in these awful, unhealthy relationships because of exactly what you said, because they're afraid to be alone. And it's so sad and it breaks my heart because like there's no room for growth there. If you're
Yes.
going to let this person hold you down and mentally, physically, however, and there's no way that your life is going to improve, and that's scary. That's really scary for people, to be alone when you're used to having this person in your life, good, bad, or indifferent. But if you can muster up the strength to walk away from that situation or separate yourself from the situation, trust me when I say that is where the magic happens. Like, they say, success is outside of your comfort zone or stepping outside of the box or whatever t-shirt or bumper sticker said that. It's freaking true.
Yep.
It's absolutely true. I'm walking, talking proof of that. Like once you separate yourself from an abusive, negative situation, it just opens everything up to all the beautiful opportunities that are waiting for you,
Yeah.
whether it's in your career or love or just your general happiness. Like it's once you learn to be happy on your own with yourself, you're
Yes.
unstoppable. And
Yes.
once you learn to have that confidence and be protective of your happiness and yourself, nothing can mess with you. Not
Yeah.
because you're just go ahead, go ahead. I
Yeah,
know.
no, I was gonna say, and look at how also you've told me some stories about your boundaries now. Like you speak up right away for yourself, like, hey, don't talk to me, like, well, whatever it is, like you're not gonna do that again. And whether that was people in your life, in your work
Patience
situations
level is
and
very
stuff.
low.
What's that?
My patience level is very low.
That's what happens though. You're just like, oh, that ain't gonna happen from around here. Like they ain't gonna
Absolutely.
they ain't gonna go down like that. What did you just
Yeah.
say? No, and but
Very, very protective of what comes into my space now.
yes, it's so important. It's super important. Rebuilding yourself, and that again, like you said, that kind of stuff doesn't happen until you're alone. You can't possibly get clarity as to number one how bad something was of a relationship until you get out. When you're still in it, there's still that cloud
Fact.
of like, oh, you still have that cloud over you, and you can't see
Sure.
straight. Yeah,
Yeah, you
you gotta
nailed it.
you got to go out into the desert, be alone, get sober, do the things you got to do, and then literally like look at your whole life and make the changes that you need to make. I mean,
Yeah.
you did it. You are I always think of you as like we were gonna do it, but we were having too much fun in Florida, so I ended up saying like because we
That's
were
not a bad thing. That was a good thing.
we
I
were
can't
we were
wait for you
doing
to come
too much
back here.
stuff, and you had shows, and I was so happy to see you play, and so I was like, no, I got to have you on the channel. You're the perfect energy we need to have on this channel.
Ah, thank you.
Oh,
Oh, go ahead.
go ahead, you go ahead.
Just one thing I wanted to say, because like, everybody goes through these horrible, situations. And I know a lot of your subscribers have dealt with narcissistic situations or are currently in them. I just want to assure anybody that's watching this, like there is light at the end of the tunnel. There is good things waiting for you on the other side of this awful situation. And all I can say is somebody that's been through it, like yourselves, like just keep on keeping on. I mean, it's the cheesiest saying, but just
Yeah.
keep yourself a top priority. Don't let them take that away from you. Invest in yourself. Put together a plan. To make yourself a little clique of people, a little tribe of people that you know have your best intentions at heart, you know, and confide in them and let them support you and help you, whether it's in person or online. Um, build your team and start making moves to get out of the situation, to better your life, put together a plan. Um, what's on the other side of that is beautiful. Is when you have that moment where you finally find your out and find out just how much this life has to offer. When you get out of this awful situation, it makes everything worthwhile. And then all that bullshit, BS, excuse me,
Yep.
is background noise. Doesn't even matter. You know, if
Yes.
anything, take it, learn from it, let it help you grow. Um, just invest in yourself because,
Yes. Yes, yes, yes. I love it. Oh, show everyone what you're wearing today, Natalie.
I've got my, yes,
Have you worn, you got to wear it on
proud to wear that, babe. Proud to wear it.
You got to tell me
So
what
proud of you.
what people come say to you after a show. What does that mean?
So I wore it to the gym. I wore it to the gym and got a lot of compliments on it. And unfortunately, in the gym, I don't get a chance to really have conversations with people. But it's like you get like a little nod from people when you wear this shirt. Like, been there, right on.
Yes. Yes, guys, don't forget that's how you can really help spread the awareness and the message about this. And you can wear merch, which is on my channel. If you don't know how to get to it, just email me. Um, Natalie, thank you
Oh my
so
God.
much.
Thank you for having me. I hope I didn't ramble too much. I'm
No.
sorry I got emotional. This is just,
Oh, also, can you guys tell who inspired me to, when you guys remember when I got out of my job and walked out of my job, and then one of the first things I did was dye my hair pink. So look who inspired me to do that.
yes, yes, you're such a queen. You are such a queen. Oh my God.
That was so, that it's true. I was like, okay, you know what I really want to do that I never could do at these jobs, and that's one of the first things I went and did. You
So
are,
proud of you, girl.
I'm
So proud of you.
I am so proud of you. This is making me miss you even more. I
Ditto.
have to get a plane ticket going here.
I'm literally sitting in the guest bedroom. It's like waiting for you. Like, just come back.
Well, listen, I'm going to be in touch with you, obviously, but let Natalie know what you got out of this. You guys, leave some comments for Natalie. She was so kind to come on the channel today, and I can't thank you enough. And I know this is
So
going to
happy to be a part of
help
this.
so many people. I'm working with a lot of musicians and a lot of younger musicians that don't know like what's coming
That's
up in their life.
amazing.
Yeah, so this is going to be super helpful.
Oh, that's great. Keep going.
Yeah,
Keep
yeah,
going.
right.
I'm already proud of you. That's
Yeah.
awesome.
Yay! All right. Well, thanks everyone. As we all know, I'm Trace Face. This is Natalie, and it's time we all face the truth together.
Love you.
I love you.